Hello, welcome to episode 188 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1,001 movies you must see before you die. Alright, so, Sons of the Desert, 1933, Laurel and Hardy. Now, to set this up, and we've talked about, some of the great silent comedians the past couple of videos, now we move into the sound era. Even though Laurel and Hardy were doing comedy films in the silent era, I haven't seen any of their silent films. So they kind of transitioned over, and, Laurel and Hardy, one of the greatest comedic duos of all time. In fact, probably the greatest comedic duo of all time. Just legends. So, I'd never seen this before. And Connie, I want you to ask me, how big of a fan am I of Laurel and Hardy?
How big of a fan are you of Laurel and Hardy?
Huge. Now ask me what my favourite Laurel and Hardy film is.
What's your favourite Laurel and Hardy film?
I don't know. Ask me to name a Laurel and Hardy film.
Oh, do I have to
yes.
play this game?
Yes, you do have to play this game.
Name a Laurel and Hardy film.
Sons of the Desert. That's all I got.
Is that this one?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan, but it's like this hazy kind of half dream. When I was a kid, I loved Laurel and Hardy. I had these videotapes that were like brightly coloured, and they were cardboard cases, and I'd watch them over and over again. I loved Laurel and Hardy. My dad loved them.
Really?
My grand probably loved them too. And then I just stopped watching. When I was a teenager, I got a couple of the new DVDs they released where they did like the colorized version, the black and white version, and I really loved those. The past 15 years or so, I haven't seen any of it. And I'd never seen this film. I don't think I've seen many of their features either. I'm talking like the shorts when I was a kid, like the 20-minute ones. So, this was kind of a reintroduction to me and a complete introduction to Connie, who had never seen anything. So the story of Sons of the Desert sees Laurel and Hardy as two friends, as they always are, bickering friends and always at odds with each other. They want to go to this convention of a organization that they're a part of, this kind of fraternal organization. And the organization is like, you have to attend this thing, it's a sacred oath. And they can't really get away with it because their wives don't want them to go. So they trick their wives into them going, and then it's about their wives finding out. Very simple setup, very simple story, told very neatly in 3 concise acts of around 20 minutes of them getting ready to go to the convention, them going to the convention, and then coming back and trying not to get caught. What did you think of the film?
It was entertaining. It's just that they dragged on the jokes too long. Every joke was just dragged on too long. And an introduction to the whole movie is a joke that is being dragged on. Like, it's funny, and then it's like, okay, get on with it. And that's what I felt about most of it. Yeah,
I didn't think it aged very well as a film. And it's one of those kind of comedy things where it's the rule of 3s, where you'll do a joke, it's funny, and then okay, well then I'll do it again, and then I have to do it a third time. Like a scene.
Like a rule of 8.
Like a scene where Stan Laurel is he's eating a wax apple, so it's like one of those fruit bowls, but it's fake fruit, and he's eating it.
Painful.
He bites a chunk out of it, and then he puts it back, and then he's slowly chewing it, and then he does it 3 times, and it goes on for about a minute and a half at least, and just not that funny, and that it's worth noting that unlike say Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin, I don't believe Laurel and Hardy wrote their own films or directed their own films. They're very much working from other people's material and stuff. But where this film shines is just them being them. It's not the gags, it's them just being them, their mannerisms, Oliver Hardy just cracks me up so much. The little things he does with his fingers, there's such a precise way he moves his fingers, and I just love...
Like a child.
Yes.
Which is what I felt about the movie. I felt like it was a comedy for kids more than adults.
Yeah,
it was about marriage and stuff, but it's...
I was a fan when I was a kid, so I think that holds a lot of truth.
That's what I felt. It was just... It got too childish for me. Like... It was sort of funny when I did it the first time, because he was going to ask his wife if Laurel could stay because he was locked out, and he's like, so can...
Yeah.
He was like against the doorway or something. He's like,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite stuff. That's my favorite stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. But in the beginning, it was just like a simple joke where they were like leaning shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And it was like, and the strong will protect the weak or something. And then the
Hardy,
the fat guy, he's like looking down at the smaller guy and he's like, it back, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm the strong one. And that was funny, and I was like, okay then.
Yeah,
And then that was it. That was the last time I laughed, I think.
Yeah, like it started off and I was like, ooh, how's she gonna take to this? And you started laughing at some of the smaller stuff and I was like, oh, this is really promising.
Yeah.
But even me, like,
it would have been funny if they did it once, like that thing. If you just kept going.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't be funny anymore. But they just kept milking it, and so to me, it could have been 20 minutes instead of an hour, because everything just kept, you know.
Right. Well, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was a good.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was a good film.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm just never gonna watch it again.
No.
You can show it to our kids. They'll like it.
And I think your enthusiasm for the film is kind of very visual with what you're doing right now. Just slowly.
I was like that during the movie.
Yeah, you were. I could. It was kind of a shame. You were like. You checked how long the movie was, how long was left, and it was like another 10 minutes, and you were like...
20.
You were like, ugh. No, it was...
It was 10 minutes past.
Oh, it was 20.
Left.
It was 20. No, it wasn't.
Yep. That was the times on the thing. I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, it was like 11
10,
minutes left.
20.
It was 11 minutes left. You're not going back.
Well, the credits are freaking 9 minutes then.
They're not.
It said 20.
Alright, fine. I'm going to prove it after the camera's off. Anyway, we'll just move on from that, and I'll cut that bit out as well.
You can't prove it because I
can't-
remember what it said.
I remember... Right,
It was 10 on the other hand and 20 on the other.
We're going to do it, right. Because it was the scene when they were on the roof, and it was raining.
And the second part is 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not often I get to literally prove you wrong about something, so I have to take these opportunities while I can get them.
Why does it say 20 on the side? That's what I said. It said 20 minutes on the side and it said 10 minutes there. That's why I thought it was 20 minutes left. Because it said 20
like
there.
I said, it was around 11 minutes.
Okay, fine. But it does say 2010.
But
So you can
that's
understand.
the length. Well, yeah, I guess.
But I didn't know that.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought that was
Alright,
left.
fine.
That's time passed.
Okay, fine. So we were both right anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't have to get into an argument about it. Right, so
Good.
that's done, and we can move on.
Good.
At the beginning of the movie, they both live like next to each other. So they have a door there and a door there and a doorbell there and a doorbell there. And there's just this gag where like Laurel's just like, oh, he's trying to walk into the wrong house and he presses the wrong bell. Oh, and he's doing this and that. That stuff I don't like too much. It's just very
stupid.
Yeah.
Eating a wax apple, you stop eating when you.
It was funny when he was like trying to chew it down and stuff. But it drags on a bit too much.
Who keeps on eting?
Well, that's kind of the joke, I suppose, but it's just those kind of longer paced things don't age as well, I think.
No.
But it's worth it for just the charisma of the two and their little just personal tics, like I said. Hardy's little mannerisms and just there's some funny lines in there, and I really enjoyed the last act of the film is so much better than the rest, where you just the anticipation of the wives finding them and stuff, and when they go into a local theater and there's a newsreel and it says the Sons of the Desert Chicago Convention, so you know that they're about to see a clip of their husbands who they think have died in this shipwreck as they were supposed to go to Hawaii. And not only is it a picture of them walking through a parade at the convention, like they mugging at the camera and they're like, oh yeah, like it's just so it couldn't be worse for them. I just thought that was hilarious. Overall though, good film, not great. Is it a film you should see before you die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
I'm okay.
Purely based on the fact that, I mean, it might just... Maybe I'll go back to all those films I loved and it won't be the same. I'll still enjoy them, but it won't be as amazing as I remember it. But for this one, yeah, I don't think it's the perfect representation of their comedy. I feel like I've seen much better, even though it's so far in the past. But yeah. And I don't know if there's any more of their films in the book. I'm not sure.
If I had grown up with those movies, then I probably would have said yes, because
Well-
then I would have been a fan of them.
Well,
But
I'm
for me-
a fan, and I grew up, and I still thought this film had quite a few weak spots, and so it kind of dragged down the bits that were good. But I'll give it. It was
I'll give it.
the last act of the film. I thought was great, actually. I will say that, but I just think that the rest.
because they didn't repeat everything.
Yeah, it had a bit more momentum to it. It wasn't slowly dragging things out,
Yeah.
and some of the sound design was pretty poor, like from scene to scene. I guess it's early in the sound era, so you can kind of forgive it, but that kind of stood out to me as well. Anyway,
Especially in the beginning.
Laurel and Hardy, Sons of the Desert, pretty good. And I think we've been fair on our criticisms of it. We're not kind of slating it or anything like that.
No, it wasn't a bad movie at
yeah.
all. And for its time, you know.
Sure, yeah.
But if they made that stuff now, people would trash it.
Well, it's completely different. It's such a different
No,
style. Such a different. No, it's still that's still around, but you couldn't do a film like this now. It's a completely different era, and this is a film that's, you know, like 80 years old. So the rule of threes can work if you do it right. I just don't feel, and I have a gut feeling that it's to do with the people who made this film, whoever wrote it and stuff. Because again, I don't think Laurel and Hardy did their own writing and stuff. They probably brought a lot of their own mannerisms into the films and things like that. That's where I think that's probably how it's funny, where they're like, well, if I do this here, or they just did it, like the little things, like when Hardy's been caught out by his wife at the end, and he's sat at the table, and she's just ready to freak out, and he's just kind of like drawing a square on the table with his fingers absent-mindedly, like a kid, right? So, but it's just a very unique style that they both perfected, and they're such a great double team, you know, of completely different comedic styles in a way, but they play so well off each other.
I mean, I found that part funny. It was just not laugh out loud funny for me. It was just like,
sure,
a smile on the inside.
Yeah. So there we go.
And I gotta say, their chemistry was pretty good. Like, between the two guys.
Yeah, I need to go back and really get into those films again and watch them and maybe show you some of the better ones so you can have a better idea of their stuff. But yeah, so there you go. Sons of the Desert.
It didn't put me off seeing more of their movies.
That's good. I'm glad. So. Yeah. All right. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.